I'm not really sure how to open this segment, but I wanted to start doing T&T talk, so trauma talk, and how I'm on this journey of recovery and healing and things like that. Yeah, so this is trauma talk, and okay, so I've got the baby off to sleep and the other one's doing screen time, and I thought this was a time to sit down and do trauma talk. Now, a side note to this situation is I feel like in the last year I've like awoken to the world, and I've just been so emotionally and physically abused for quite a long time that now I'm like awoken to the world. I just have no idea, like so much is going on and I don't know, like you just can't say half of anything anymore. So I do apologise if people feel offended or triggered by things, and also I will be learning about what, I know you can't say, you have to say SA now, I know that one, but I'm just, lots of things are blocked, I'm not really with what, you know, blah blah, I hope that made sense, that part anyway. So for starters, I'm going to be talking about my feelings, my experiences, how that's impacted here and here. Some people may be offended, some people may be triggered, some people may not see my views or my feelings as the same as they do, which is fine, that's how we're all different humans. But anything I say is not to offend people, it's just my feelings on my experiences and my trauma, and how that I am sort of just jumbling that all up with this like bleh. Ugh. See, like I don't even know my point now. Anyway, I'm just gonna chat about my feelings, how I've come to terms with things, what my brain what my brain is processing at the moment, and how on my own I'm kind of putting all the things, like just, I'm trying to unwire my brain, if that makes sense, by myself. Therapy is expensive and also time consuming. I have 2 children on my own, I don't have time for babysitters. So, I mean, I could do online therapy, but with them around and listening, it's just, I'm just trying to figure it out by myself. So, the last week, the girls were ill with a sickness bug, and then they sort of kind of got it back for a few days. We're now officially clear of that. But after that, I then decided to have a depression week. Whenever I've suffered from depression, which is quite a lot, it has been from la 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 day to boom, crash. And I'm talking, I will be crying all day, I'll be lethargic, like just sobbing all day on the floor, not eating, and just that kind of depression, you know, like under your quilt, ridiculously crying, horrific thoughts, like just trapped in a dark cloud. Whereas this week, I didn't realise if there is like different types of depression, because I wasn't crying and I didn't feel sad, but I felt empty, and I just kind of pushed away from, as bad as it is, my children, and like I did the necessary basic needs of them, which is quite bad in my eyes, but you know, like fed them, dressed them, played with them like as if 10 minutes a day, and they just kind of did their own thing or watched TV. For a whole week I was like that. I did take them to nursery when they needed to, swimming lessons when they needed to, and what else did we do? We went to this like gymnastics for babies sort of thing. And while I did all this to them, I kind of just wasn't there, if that makes sense. And my house paid for that again, like. But I think during the end of the week, I feel better. Like, I feel like I'm kind of coming out of this narcissistic, abusive relationship mentally now. And what I didn't realise is you hurt for so many different things when you leave that. I didn't even think I was going to get emotional, but so one big thought is that I'm really struggling to come to terms with is the fact, I don't want to get too personal with this story, but we were together for 3 years, which is a long time, and at the start it was very romantic and lovey-dovey and all that sort of thing, which I think from learning about abuse language that is called love bombing. But my brain doesn't kind of, like, I've learnt language and I've learnt stuff, but trying to attach that language to the memories that I have kind of is a process that I'm working with at the moment. Anyway, so I just can't comprehend how we were together for 3 years, and yes, our relationship was toxic, but that's not the part that hurts me. The part that hurts me the most is we have 2 beautiful children together, and it doesn't seem like they care anymore. And I can't understand, my brain can't understand how you can be part of your child's life for so long and then just stop caring. And the days that I struggle with having 2 children on my own, and I do snap, I have a lot of trauma, and I shouldn't have had babies while I was, 1, in a traumatic situation, and 2, not healed from other traumas. And I feel so guilty daily that they just have me, and that I can't handle the days, the weeks on my own with 2 children. And my heart hurts for what they're missing out on, you know. If they had 2 parents that loved and support them, I think they might be a bit happier if they had a dad figure, a male role figure in their lives. Like, I feel like every little girl needs that, and I know not everyone has that, and I know people's parents dies and things, and I'm just saying, like, when I see them, my heart yearns for that, you know. Like, I just can't understand how I've got put through so many years of mental harassment and control, and then have children, and then it just kind of disappear, like, because, and then with that thought is, I did all this when I could have had someone that, you know, like, I could have waited, and I could have had someone that would be respectful to my children, because they literally deserve the world, and they're not getting that. And then the guilt of feeling, well, I'm now on benefits, and maybe going back to work next year, depending on how hours work with picking up childcare and the cost of it and all the other stuff that goes with that. But before I had both my children, I was earning £2,500 a month at a really good job. And then I left that job because of this said person, had a baby with this said person, and never returned. And that's another thing I think about, like, I went through all of that to be here, to be worse off than I was before I met him. And it's just crazy, but I do have my 2 daughters that I am eternally grateful for. It's just, it's hard. Like when you leave such a toxic situation and then you come to terms with how toxic that is, when you learn about what is right, what is wrong, and also when you sit back and realise, wow, like they convinced me of that and I was living in such a situation like that, you know? It's quite mind-blowing. But there's so much that goes with it. There's so much that I'll probably, I don't know if I'm ever going to heal from, because the thing that hurts the most is I've tried so hard for this said person to be in contact with my children, our kids, and it's just not going that way, and that's what hurts the most, because I will never probably ever get with a man again. Like, I'm done. I don't trust myself to be vulnerable again, to also not play a toxic part, because my whole life has been toxic from the day I was about 2 years old. So I also have toxic traits. I also have red flags. I also can fight in a situation that I should be putting down, quieting. I don't know the right word for that, but you know. So now I feel like I'm cheating them of a really good life. Like, to say we are alone most days is the fact, you know? Like, I know I moved away, but I have 2 children that see no one. They just got me. And I'm not the best every day. I'm not. And so many people are like, you're such a good mom, you're such a good mom, I'm so proud of you. I don't feel like that every day. I feel, every time I shout at my children, I feel guilty. Every time I lose my shit, I feel guilty. Every time we are in a messy house, I feel guilty. And it's not from my actions, it's the fact that I have brought 2 children into this world with no family links. And that was selfish of me. I didn't have children for the right reasons. I had children to be selfish and for me to feel the love that I never had. That's why I had children. And I'll admit that now, because I've awoken to the fact that that's why I had children. I have nothing to offer them. I don't have a stable income. I don't have a stable mind. And I'm just stuck now, like, that's the part of the journey that I'm on. That's the healing, reality awakening steps that I'm on right now. But I just wish my kids had a father, a really important male role model. They need more than me, you know. My children need more than me. They really do. And I can't offer them that. And I don't want them to be broken like me. And this video is an insight into how my brain works. I can't just be like, oh, hi guys, today we're going to look at the side effects of leaving an abusive relationship. Point 1, you'll feel like this. Like, no, my brain just like, tangents. Yes, it goes off on tangents. Hi guys, so, okay. Today we are going to be discussing trauma. And I'm going to do a section every week or 2 weekly called TT, Trauma Talk. And I kind of new to the guidelines of what you can say, what you can't say. I know you can't say, well, I know you have to say SA now, so that's something, but I'm not sure on like other words that you can't say about abuse and stuff like that anyway. So the side effects of leaving a narcissistic relationship is quite huge mentally, You feel guilty for being in the relationship with them. You feel guilty for the parts that you played in the relationship with them. You feel confused at why you went on this abuse roller coaster for it to just end like that. The one I'm struggling with the most is how it's been since October 22? October 22? What was it? October 21. And they haven't seen their dad yet. And it's like, I don't know. I've got to try edit this to make sense. Because it is just a rant and I don't want to like shame the father, because I understand that I've done a lot of research into narcissism, and apparently narcissistic people can't change, but also it's not their fault. People that are narcissistic are children that did not get what they needed to get and built up this invisible non-reflective mirror to where it protected themselves, and now they're forever stuck in that moment. I don't know, this probably didn't make sense. It's just a ramble of nonsense. My brain is so messed up. Oh no! Oh. That therapy works though. You can probably get on with the rest of my day now. This editing is going to take me hours, because I keep looking out the window and going off point.